So today's briefing by SRSG David Chair on UNMISS will be a good moment to have an interactive discussion ahead of UNMISS mandate renewal. And I would like to say a few words in my national capacity. As you know, the revitalized peace agreement that was signed on 12 September last year is what we could say a historic opportunity to emerge from this conflict, and it's an opportunity that should not be missed. The current phase of pre-transition is a key moment for its success, and it's crucial to avoid further delays and to ensure the participation of women in this peace process. And we know that there are deadlines and that we're a little bit lagging behind. So today is an opportunity to remobilize the energies so that we keep the timeline for the implementation of the revitalized peace agreement in South Sudan. Yeah, and on the level of violence, indeed, still very high. In particular, sexual violence. This is absolutely unacceptable. And for France, we consider that the Security Council should systematically use sanctions to punish and constrain those who perpetrate such kind of violence. And finally, the humanitarian situation is still very dire, still deteriorating. We know there are, more than 2 million people displaced, and that 7 million people are in dire humanitarian need and on the verge of being highly food insecure. Today, South Sudan is the most dangerous country for humanitarian personnel, and again, that's one of the French priorities is to really insist on the need for full implementation of international humanitarian law and protection of medical and humanitarian personnel, and we will continue to insist on that message. And today is also 8 March, so it's International Women's Day. That's, as you know, a great national cause for France and for its president. It's a top priority of the G7 French presidency. And 2 days ago, President Macron announced that we'll create a $150 million yearly fund to support movements and NGOs that promote women's rights and gender equality, in particular in the global South. It's a continuous priority for France in the UN. We've been very, very active in the Security Council, but also in the GA on this topic. And as you might have heard, what we want to do is encourage a UN Too movement after the Me Too movement, so that we really get rid of all violence against women, including sexual harassment, and that we would encourage the Secretary General's commendable efforts in this regard. And as you may have seen in the joint French-German presidencies in the Council, Women, Peace and Security agenda is very, very high on the list of our priorities, and will definitely continue to mainstream that theme into the various conflicts that we have on the agenda of the Council. And just to conclude, next week we start with the 63rd CSW. It's going to be a very important moment. We have the French Minister of State for equality between men and women, Marlène Schiappa, who will be there for most of the week, and she will preside a number of events, in particular an ARIA Formula meeting of the Security Council on fighting inequality and unequal participation of women in the various political processes. So as you can see, France is now really leading feminist foreign policy, and you'll see more of it in the weeks and in the months to come.
are we going to see a woman as a permanent representative of France, for example, if you're so much into equality? I've never seen that yet.
But you have now a woman DPR, which was the first time ever when I was appointed.
No, but the PR.
The PR, you know, will...
PR. When?
Hopefully soon.
Yep. France has a long way to go.
We'll work on that. We'll work on that.
Yes.
Thank you.
I was just going to say.
Vive la journée des femmes.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.